Netflix has landed. It's been a long time coming, and the streaming service finally decided to open its doors to not just India, but 130 countries all at once. Though Netflix's Indian catalog isn't as extensive as its American one, there's still a lot to choose from. To make things easier, here's a few of the shows you could kick things off with. Making a Murderer. Do not, I repeat, do not hit play on the first episode of Making a Murderer unless you have a solid 10 hours to spare. The legal drama on the mistrial and conviction of Stephen Avery is equal parts gripping and nightmarish. A fresh appeal has been filed in the case, so there will be a follow-up to do once you're done with the 10-part documentary. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt is about a woman who's forced to begin her life anew after being saved from the subterranean bunker she has been convinced to occupy for 15 years. Though that seems like the makings of a jaded, potentially unhinged individual, Kimmy Schmidt is anything but. Keep a watch for the fruity landlady and the flamboyant roommate. Marvel's Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones managed to maintain, if not augment, the momentum Daredevil managed to garner for Marvel. Kristen Ritter delivers a career-best performance as the mean-spirited PI who's as anti-hero as the term gets. There's a lot of raw and graphic scenes, but none of it feels gratuitous. A great starting point for your Netflix binge. Finders Keepers. Simply put, Finders Keepers is about a dispute between two men over an amputated leg. One of them is the former biological proprietor of the limb, while the other is the man who owns the article in which the leg was found. Needless to say, the documentary writes itself. Master of None. The show focuses primarily on Dave's search for love, with many laughs to be had on the way. It has an interesting perspective on relationships in the age of dating apps. The Aziz Ansari starer is unexpectedly profound, managing to elevate the romantic comedy genre to more than the cloying fare we're used to. Best of Enemies. ABC's airing of the 1968 debates between William F. Buckley Jr. and Gore Vidal changed not just its own flagging fortunes at the time, but news broadcasting on the whole forever. Happily for the makers of this documentary, the archival footage of exchanges between the Democrat and Republican ideologues is riveting in itself. Narcos. For Breaking Bad fans, it may not be easy to get into another show about drugs, but Narcos is well worth risking loyalties for. Pablo Escobar was a fascinating and daring man, and this Netflix miniseries on him exudes the very same qualities. BoJack Horseman. It took a while for BoJack Horseman to come into its own. With the second season, however, the animated show has really hit its stride. The story of the half-horse, half-man former 90s sitcom celebrity, picture a centaur but with opposite halves, is a bit out there, but manages to provide some profound moments amidst the oddities. Twinsters. Twinsters takes the cum camela separation trope to whole new levels of real and emotional. Samantha Futerman and Anais Bourdier are identical twins living on different continents, unaware of each other's existence, until one happens to watch a video featuring the other. The story unfolds in real time through Skype conversations and home videos, lending the documentary an unusual realism. Peaky Blinders. Among the most underappreciated actors around today, Cillian Murphy plays Tommy Shelby in Peaky Blinders. Shelby is a World War I veteran who leads a gang that's been tracked by Winston Churchill, who in the period the show depicts is a government official. The action is slow to kick off, but the first season ends with possibly the most compelling cliffhanger in recent television history.